Hello, I'm Lee Carswell and welcome to another video. Now this is a video I'm very excited to make. And why is that, you may ask? Well, as you can probably guess from this and from the title of this video, today we're spending our time with hot hatch royalty. Yeah! Oh, I love it. That's right, this video is about the Golf R. Now, arguably this is a car that doesn't need an introduction, but I do need to make this video a decent length, so it's going to get one anyway. So the Golf R was introduced in 2010 with the Mk6, and it took the place of the R32 at the top of the Golf lineup. Then in 2014 we were given the Mk7, and that took power from 265 brake horsepower, I think, up to 296 brake horsepower. Then in 2016 we were given this, the Mk7.5, and that received an extra 10 brake horsepower. However, in April last year, I think, that 10 horsepower was lost as VW had to introduce a petrol particulate filter. Now, whilst we're doing a bit of a history lesson, I thought I'd mention that during its lifetime the R has been available in a few configurations. Both the 6 and the 7 could be had with a manual transmission and were available with either 3 or 5 doors. Originally, these options could be had on the 7.5, however they were both dropped along with that 10 brake horsepower which I mentioned earlier. Now, if you do need more practicality, then the estate model should have you covered. I also just want to give the Mark 6 Golf R Cabriolet a quick shout out, as that seems like one of the bravest performance car variants that we've had for quite a while. Right, I'm aware I need to stop bagging on about the fact this is the 7.5 and not the 7, but I just quickly want to show you how you can easily identify which is which. So this is the 7.5, and you can tell that by looking at the LED strips in the light clusters. On the 7.5, these are in a sort of lying down L or a Nike tick shape. On the 7, they're two sort of squares in the cluster. Also, the 7.5 has a much more aggressive design to the lower bumper, and yeah, that's how you can easily tell them apart. Right, that's enough of that. What do you think of how the Golf R looks? Let me know in the comments below. Now, these cars are kind of famous for being understated and not shouting about their performance, but that is unless, of course, you know even the slightest bit about cars, in which case this lapis blue paintwork and these alloy wheels give the game away immediately. This is the Golf R and not a run-of-the-mill Golf. Now, I have to admit that before I came and filmed this car, I was kind of in the camp of thinking this car looked too boring and it wasn't the sort of thing I'd like, but after seeing it in the flesh, I have to admit I'm a big fan. It just sort of offers the perfect blend of sophistication, conservativeness, and it is also sporty and aggressive in a nice understated manner. I'm a big fan of a sleeper. If I was being really critical though, I'd probably get rid of the quad system and put the Golf GTI system on there. I don't know, I think 4 exhaust on a 2 litre is possibly a little bit excessive, but like I say, that has been me being extremely critical. If you're in the market for a car that doesn't shout about its performance and you use it daily, the looks of the Golf R is a major win. Now, as I said in my Suzuki Swift Sport review, which you can watch by clicking in that corner, I think, the joy of a hot hatch is that once you're done blasting down a B road, you are left with a car which is just as practical as the model it is based on. Now, I do say that, and that is kind of wrong in the case of the Golf R, because this boot is actually 37 litres smaller than that you'll find in the back of a front-wheel drive Golf, and that is because of the 4-wheel drive gubbins underneath there. However, with 340 litres left, you're still not going to be moaning there is plenty of space back here. And if I'm honest, I don't know why I film these boot sections. They're kind of hard to film and make interesting. This is the boot, there's some space, have a look at it. Kind of pointless. Yeah, if you need more space though, you can fold them seats down in a 60/40 configuration, and you do have a load through gap in the middle seat for things like skis. As you can see, there is also plenty of space in the back. I'm 5'11" and there was still loads of room. One slight disappointment back here though is that despite having a 12-volt socket in the boot, there is no power points for rear passengers. Right, what about the front? Well, as you'd expect from a VW product, it all feels very nice, very well built and very solid in here. You've got lots of nice material, so you've got sort of Alcantara on these seats opposed to leather, and you've got a nice leather wrapped steering wheel. Now, I just want to quickly point out this is a very base spec, business spec as Jonathan calls it, Golf R, so it doesn't have any of the sort of options on it. But that isn't really an issue, because as standard you've got an 8.2-inch screen in here, and that controls pretty much everything as you'd expect from a multimedia system these days. It's quite nice because you do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, and I think that's a more familiar system, so realistically you're probably going to be using that. Moving across, the 7.5 benefits from the VW Active Info display as standard, and this again is crisp and you can do many things with it. Jonathan's not had the car for long, so he doesn't know his preferred setup yet, which means my script's gone out the window. Yeah, you can put lots of information on there, and as you'd expect, it's a very nice system to use. Yeah, there's not really much to complain about in here. It's just a very nice place to sit with plenty of tech, and it's very well built. Right, it's not the loudest car in the world from the outside, but I will admit that the fake sound being pumped into the cabin did have me grinning. The fake noise that comes into the cabin is quite good.
It's not the worst, is it?
No, it sounds fairly legit.
If you don't...
It does sound fairly legit. Oh, mate. Anyway, what about some performance stats? Well, as you may be aware, the Golf R is powered by a 2-litre turbocharged engine, and this unit puts out 296 brake horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. This power is then sent to all 4 wheels via a 7-speed DSG automatic gearbox, and the resulting 0-60 mph time is 4.6 seconds, and the top speed is limited to 155. Now, my immediate impressions from a short time behind the wheel were that this is one seriously easy car to drive quickly, and this is no doubt helped by the 4-wheel drive grip, but I felt comfortable behind the wheel almost immediately. This Golf R was also surprisingly comfortable over our awful road surfaces despite the lack of the DCC option. Anyway, I reckon it's time to go over to Jonathan to find out a bit more about living with a Golf R. Right, I think that's a good time to introduce you, mate. So, this is Jonathan, the owner of the Golf R, and he's going to try and not be awkward as I now ask him some questions.
I'll do my best.
Hopefully this microphone's picking us up alright, it should be, I've practiced it lots. Now, this is often regarded as the ultimate daily, mate. And this is a very unjournalistic question to ask, but do you agree with that statement?
I do agree. I spent a lot of time shopping around and whatnot, and for me, this was like the ultimate package at this price point sort of thing.
Right, so I know you keep it concise, mate, but that was very concise.
Excellent.
So why did you choose to buy this? What was your sort of criteria for a car?
My criteria needed to be... I didn't want the I know MPG shouldn't be something that's at the forefront of your mind with a car like this, but I didn't want it to be horribly thirsty because I use it for work every day. Mm-hmm. And you know, turning up at clients' houses or whatnot in anything too sort of leery looking like the Type R or the Focus RS would have been, you know, it doesn't set the best image, and this for me is the perfect all-rounder. I like the way the looks are understated.
Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. So does that kind of address the next question? Some people moan that these are a little bit dull, perhaps. What do you think of that statement? Do you think that's a bad thing, or do you think, like you say, that suits?
I don't think it's a bad thing at all, because it attracts the hot hatch buyer that's not looking for too showy sort of thing. Mm-hmm. I like the way you can sort of go under the radar and less people know what the car is. That for me is a big bonus. Yeah. So yeah, that's it really.
So talking about people knowing what this car is, this is a question I immediately think when I see a Golf R or Audi S product or RS. Do you worry about it being stolen?
Every day.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do, you know what I mean? And I don't want to, you know, I didn't want that to put me off buying it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a shame that there are people like that out there, but equally, if it goes, it goes. I've done my best to look after it, and I don't want to put anyone at risk, you know what I mean?
Yeah, did that not influence your buying decision at all? Did that tempt you into something else?
It did, it really did. But then, I know this is high up on the list of cars that get stolen, but equally, if I'd have got anything different just because of that, I'd have sort of hated myself for it. It may well be fine. I'll probably get through ownership without any concerns, but I'd always wished I'd got this, I think.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So what else did you consider out of interest?
I looked at the A45, but that is too leery. Yeah. I was going to go sort of down the completely different sort of route, get a 320D, you know, the new Shape 3 series, because it's really businessy, which is what I need it for. It's not horrible in terms of performance, but again, you know, looking between the cars, I thought, if I don't get this at this point in my life, I will regret it, sort of thing.
That's fair enough. So I can probably guess the answer to this, but what is your favourite thing about this car?
The
The
performance mixed with the all-wheel drive capability, so you feel secure on the road. Because I'm not a racing driver, and you know, a rear-wheel drive car as a daily could cause problems. Yeah, true.
So now Jonathan's not had this car for long, which very kindly let me come and film it today. So this question might be a bit tricky for him to answer, but what is the most annoying thing about it, if there is anything?
It's a really minor niggle, but it's the piano black trim and this screen. They attract sort of like fine scratches and fingerprints so easily, and you could wipe it down every half an hour and it'd still be horrible.
Right, okay. Is there no trim? Is this the only trim you can get with it then?
This is the only interior option, yeah.
Right, okay. Fair enough. So that would be the only thing you'd change then, I guess?
Yeah.
Right, answers that question. Now, again, this might be difficult for you to answer, because you've not had it for long. But how do you think VW can possibly improve this recipe for the Mark 8? Because that will obviously be coming in time.
That's difficult because I feel like the VW are far more qualified to answer that than I am. Just give it more power, yeah?
More power?
Just more power.
We've only got one question left, mate. Would you recommend one?
Yes, I would.
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Is there anything you wish you knew before you bought one?
Yes, if you sort of drive it with, if you drive it spiritedly for any period of time, your average MPG is very low.
What is the average MPG?
I was achieving 2019 sort of on spirited drives, but on the way I did a sort of an hour down the M1, got 37.
Okay.
Which is actually really good.
Yeah, that's pretty.
But that was in eco mode, sort of going as slow as possible.
So how do we conclude this video? Well, as obvious as it may sound, if you're in the market for a car that offers the perfect blend of practicality, performance and day-to-day usability, then the Golf R is hard to beat. Yes, what a truly fantastic piece of kit. I've really enjoyed my time in this car, so thank you to the owner. Thank you to you guys for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.